Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin has shown volatility with a recent downward trend, but the forecast indicates a potential for a slight upward movement in the near future. Considering the RSI values consistently below 80 and frequently dipping below 50, the asset is generally not overbought. However, the price has approached the support level of 66,100 several times. The Bollinger Band suggests that the current price is nearing the lower band, indicating a potential oversold condition. Therefore, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy focusing on short-term gains. I propose entering a long position at $70,700, coinciding with the first forecast price. Set a stop-loss order at $69,800, just below the recent low and below the lower Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. For the target price, aim for $72,400, aligning with the second forecast price and the upper Bollinger Band. This strategy combines the RSI's indication of potential undervaluation with the Bollinger Band's suggestion of a possible upward correction, while incorporating the forecast data to predict a short-term price increase. This approach provides a balanced risk-reward profile suitable for a volatile asset like Bitcoin. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum shows a generally upward trend with some volatility. The price has bounced off the support level of $2,070 consistently, and the forecast suggests continued upward momentum, particularly with a peak at $2,200. Considering the RSI values fluctuating around the 50 mark, we'll implement a combined strategy utilizing RSI and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns. We will initiate a long position when the RSI dips below 40, indicating an oversold condition, and the price touches the lower band of the Bollinger Bands. For instance, if the RSI falls to $35 and the price reaches $1,850, we'll enter a long position at $1,850. The stop-loss will be set just below the lower Bollinger Band at $1,830 to mitigate potential losses. Our primary target price will be the resistance level of $2,340, representing a significant upside. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate the forecast data. If the RSI is below $40 and the price is near the lower Bollinger Band, and the forecast predicts a price of $2,140 in the near term, we'll adjust our target price accordingly. For example, if we enter at $1,850 with a stop-loss at $1,830, and the forecast shows $2,140 within a few days, we'll set a target price of $2,140. This dynamic adjustment based on the forecast aims to capture short-term gains while still benefiting from the overall upward trend. The strategy combines the signals from RSI and Bollinger Bands, with a focus on entering during oversold conditions and exiting near resistance levels or based on favorable forecasts, ensuring a balance between risk mitigation and profit maximization. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a fluctuating trend with recent consolidation. The RSI consistently hovers around the mid-50s, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility. Considering these factors, I propose a moderately bullish strategy. We will enter a long position when the price touches the support level of $626. The stop-loss will be set at $620 to protect against a potential breakdown. Our initial target price will be $641, aligning with the upper Bollinger Band and recent resistance levels. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate RSI signals. If the price retraces to $630 and the RSI falls below 40, signaling an oversold condition, we'll enter a long position with a stop-loss at $625 and a target price of $645. Conversely, if the price reaches $645 and the RSI exceeds 70, indicating an overbought scenario, we will consider taking profits or exiting the position. The forecast data suggests a slight downward trend in the short term, so a cautious approach with tight stop losses is crucial. This blended strategy aims to capitalize on both trend following and momentum-based opportunities. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP has shown a fluctuating trend with a recent consolidation around the $140 to $145 range. The RSI indicates that the asset is currently not significantly overbought or oversold, hovering around the mid-50s. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price is currently near the upper band, suggesting potential for a slight pullback. Therefore, I propose a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position at $1.42. Given the recent price action and support level at $1.39, a stop-loss order will be placed at $1.39 to mitigate potential losses. The target price will be set at $1.48, aligning with the upper Bollinger Band and providing a reasonable profit margin. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI drops below 30, oversold, indicating a strong buying opportunity, we'll enter a long position at the subsequent close price. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 70, overbought, we'll consider exiting the current position or shorting. For the current long position, the stop-loss remains at $1.39, and the target price is $1.48. This combined approach leverages both Bollinger Bands and RSI to identify optimal entry and exit points, maximizing potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana shows a slight upward trend, supported by the consistently high resistance at $91.4 and the support level at $81.8. The RSI fluctuates between 45.7 and 62.0, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands suggest volatility, with the price often approaching or touching the upper and lower bands. Considering these factors, I propose a combined strategy leveraging RSI and Bollinger Bands. We will initiate a long position when the RSI dips below 40, anticipating a bounce back towards the 81.8 support level. Specifically, I recommend entering a long position at $86.3, placing a stop-loss order at $81.8 to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price will be $90.6, aligning with the forecast price on March 25, 2026. We will then adjust the stop-loss to break even at $86.3. If the price continues to rise, the second target price will be $93.1, based on the forecast for March 31, 2026. This strategy aims to capitalize on short-term upward movements while managing risk through strategic stop-loss placement and target price adjustments. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON shows an overall upward trend with consistent price fluctuations. The RSI values hover around 60 to 70, indicating a slightly bullish momentum without being overbought. The Bollinger Bands have been expanding, suggesting increasing volatility. Given the forecast prices are consistently around $0.309 to $0.31, and the support price is $0.293, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.307, placing a stop-loss order at $0.293 to mitigate potential losses. The target price will be $0.312, aiming to capitalize on the predicted upward movement. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI falls below 20, indicating an oversold condition, we'll initiate a long position at the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 80, suggesting an overbought scenario, we'll exit the position. For this specific scenario, the RSI is not in the oversold or overbought zone. Therefore, the primary strategy of entering at $0.307, with a stop-loss at $0.293 and a target price of $0.312, remains the most efficient portfolio. This approach balances potential gains with risk management, aligning with a high-returns investment strategy. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin shows a sideways trend with fluctuating RSI values between 42.1 and 58.3, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands also suggest volatility, with prices frequently touching the upper and lower bands. Considering the support price of $0.0903 and the forecast for March 25, 2026, at $0.0938, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position at $0.0926, placing a stop-loss order at $0.0903 to mitigate potential losses. The target price will be set at $0.0945, aiming to capitalize on the anticipated upward movement in the short term. To refine the strategy, we will incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 20, indicating an oversold condition, we will enter a long position at that price, setting a stop loss at the nearest support level and a target price near the resistance level. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 80, suggesting an overbought condition, we will consider a short position, with a stop loss above the recent high and a target price near the support level. Combining these signals with the Bollinger Bands, we will only enter trades when the price touches the lower band and the RSI is oversold, or when the price touches the upper band and the RSI is overbought, maximizing the probability of success. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano shows a slight upward trend, bouncing between the support price of $0.263 and the resistance price of $0.285. The RSI fluctuates between 39.9 and 58.5, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been relatively stable, with the price often trading near the middle band. Considering the recent RSI reading of 48.6 and the forecast predicting prices around $0.264 to $0.272, I recommend a moderate long position. We will enter a long position at $0.263, placing a stop-loss order at $0.257 to mitigate potential losses if the price declines. Our target price will be $0.278, aiming for a $15 profit. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Bands indicators. When the RSI falls below 20, oversold, we will initiate a long position, and when it exceeds 80, overbought, we will consider exiting the position or taking profits. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it signals a potential buying opportunity, while touching the upper band suggests a possible selling point. Combining these signals, if the RSI is below 40 and the price is near the lower Bollinger Band, we will enter a long position at $0.263, set a stop loss at $0.257, and target $0.278. This portfolio combines trend analysis, RSI signals, and Bollinger Band confirmation for a more robust and efficient investment approach. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin Cash shows a volatile trend with periods of consolidation and upward movement. The RSI consistently dips below 50, indicating a potential oversold condition. Considering the forecast for the next week, with prices fluctuating around $460 to $468 and the support price at $456, I propose a moderately aggressive strategy. I would initiate a long position at $463. A stop loss should be placed at $456 to protect against a potential downward reversal. The initial target price is set at $477, aligning with recent resistance levels. To refine this strategy, I'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price is currently near the middle band, suggesting a potential breakout. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band, which is currently around $483, I would raise the target price to $503, the resistance level. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, around $438, it would trigger a stop loss at $456. This dynamic approach allows for capitalizing on both bullish and bearish momentum while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chainlink shows a fluctuating trend with recent consolidation around $9. The RSI indicates that the asset is neither significantly overbought nor oversold, currently hovering around 50. The Bollinger Bands suggest that the price is nearing the upper band, indicating potential short-term resistance. Considering these factors, I recommend a cautious strategy focusing on short-term price movements. We will implement a strategy based on the Bollinger Bands with an RSI filter. My strategy involves a long position when the price touches the lower Bollinger Band and the RSI is below 40. Entry price will be $9.1, with a stop-loss placed just below the lower Bollinger Band at $8.4. The target price will be set at the upper Bollinger Band, $9.79. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band with RSI above 70, we will consider a short position with entry price $9.79, stop-loss $9.4, and target price $9.3. This portfolio combines the strength of both strategies to maximize profit potential while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, NEO shows a slight upward trend. The RSI fluctuates between 43.7 and 58.2, indicating periods of oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands suggest periods of volatility, with the price occasionally touching the upper and lower bands. Considering these factors, I recommend a combined strategy utilizing RSI and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns. Initially, I suggest a long position entry at $2.74, coinciding with the first forecast price and a slight dip after recent volatility. A stop loss should be set at $2.63, just below the established support level, to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price is $2.82, aligning with the forecast price for March 31, 2026. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI falls below 20, indicating an oversold condition, consider adding to the position at $2.37 with a stop loss at $2.27 and a target price of $2.6. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 80 or higher, indicating an overbought condition, consider taking profits at $2.92. I recommend allocating 60% of the portfolio to the initial long position at $2.74, 20% to the oversold rebound strategy at $2.37, and 20% to the overbought profit-taking strategy at $2.92. This diversified approach balances risk and reward, capitalizing on both trend-following and contrarian opportunities. Based on the historical data and forecast, Stellar shows a slight upward trend with volatility. The RSI values fluctuate between 42.5 and 64.0, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands suggest that the price has been trading within a range, with recent movement towards the upper band. Considering the support price of $0.171 and the resistance price of $0.192, I recommend a long position strategy focusing on short-term gains. We will utilize a combination of RSI and Bollinger Band signals for optimal entry and exit points. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $0.162 when the RSI dips below 40, indicating an oversold condition. Place a stop-loss order at $0.156, slightly below the recent low and the center of the Bollinger Bands, to limit potential losses. Set a target price of $0.176, aligning with the upper Bollinger Band and a reasonable profit margin within the current resistance level. This strategy aims to capitalize on the anticipated upward movement while mitigating risk through strategic stop-loss placement. If the price reaches $0.176, consider taking profits and re-evaluating the market conditions for potential further opportunities. Based on the historical data and forecast, Aptos shows a clear upward trend with fluctuating volatility. The price has consistently bounced off the support level of $1.02 and has tested the resistance level of $1.22. The RSI readings indicate periods of both oversold and overbought conditions, but generally trending upwards. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, suggesting increased volatility, but the price has mostly remained within the bands. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy focusing on capitalizing on pullbacks to the support level and anticipating further upward movement. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position when the price touches or slightly dips below the $1.02 support level. The stop loss should be placed just below the lower Bollinger Band, around $0.98, to protect against unexpected downturns. The initial target price should be the resistance level of $1.22, offering a substantial profit margin. As the price approaches the $1.22 resistance, we can reassess and potentially set a trailing stop loss to lock in profits and ride further upward momentum. If the RSI reaches an overbought level of 80, consider taking partial profits and tightening the stop loss to protect gains. This combined strategy leverages support and resistance levels, RSI signals, and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Zcash demonstrates a volatile trend with periods of consolidation and upward movement. The RSI consistently remained below 80, indicating no overbought conditions, but recently climbed above 50, suggesting a strengthening upward momentum. Considering the support price of $217 and the recent upward trend, a long position is warranted. I recommend entering a long position at $230 with a stop loss at $217, just below the support level. The initial target price should be $248, aligning with the recent resistance and forecast high. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price has been fluctuating within the bands, suggesting potential for short-term corrections. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, which is around $182, it could present an excellent opportunity to add to the position. The final target price should be $268, near the upper Bollinger Band, representing a significant profit margin. This combined strategy leverages both RSI and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns while mitigating risk through strategic stop-loss placement. Based on the historical data and forecast, Virtual's protocol exhibits a fluctuating trend with periods of consolidation and minor upward movement. The RSI consistently fluctuates around the midpoint, indicating a lack of strong directional momentum. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been oscillating within the bands, with occasional touches of the upper band, suggesting periods of overbought conditions. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands for optimal returns. The support price of $0.658 and the resistance price of $0.769 will act as key levels for potential entry and exit points. I recommend a long position entry at $0.721 when the RSI falls below 45, signaling an oversold condition. The stop loss should be set at $0.672, just below the support level, to protect against potential downside risks. The initial target price is $0.755, aligning with the upper Bollinger Band and a potential resistance level. If the price reaches the target, consider moving the stop loss to the entry price to secure profits and potentially ride further upward momentum. If the price continues to rise, a second target price of $0.801 can be considered, based on the historical high within the Bollinger Bands. This strategy aims to capitalize on short-term price fluctuations while managing risk through strategic stop-loss placement. Based on the historical data and forecast, Artificial Superintelligence Alliance shows a clear upward trend. The price has been consistently moving higher, with the forecast predicting continued growth in the coming week. The RSI indicates that the asset is nearing overbought conditions, particularly on March 24, 2026, at 80.0. However, the upward trend and the forecast suggest that a strategic entry point can be identified. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price is approaching the upper band, indicating potential volatility. Therefore, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.236. The stop loss should be set just below the support level at $0.227 to mitigate potential losses if the trend reverses. The target price should be set at $0.264, aligning with the forecast for March 31, 2026, and providing a reasonable profit margin. To refine this strategy, we can incorporate the RSI levels. If the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition, a long position can be initiated with a stop loss below the lower Bollinger Band and a target price near the upper Bollinger Band. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 70, indicating an overbought condition, a short position can be considered with a stop loss above the upper Bollinger Band and a target price near the lower Bollinger Band. Combining these indicators with the overall upward trend and forecast, the long position with an entry price of $0.236, a stop loss at $0.227, and a target price of $0.264 offers a high potential, well-managed investment opportunity. Based on the historical data and forecast, Quant shows an overall upward trend, breaking through the resistance price of $79.6. The RSI fluctuates between 42.1 and 75.6, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has recently moved above the upper band, suggesting a potential for a short-term pullback. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $74.2. The stop loss should be set at the support price of $73.7 to limit potential losses. The initial target price should be $79.6, the previous resistance level, with a secondary target of $80 if the upward trend continues. To refine this strategy, I will incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI drops below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we can consider adding to our position at $73.5. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it could also be a potential entry point. The stop loss remains at $73.7, and if the price reaches the upper Bollinger Band, we can consider taking partial profits at $75.3. The overall portfolio will be weighted towards this long position, aiming for high returns by capitalizing on the prevailing upward trend while mitigating risk with strategic stop loss and target levels. Based on the historical data and forecast, Kite shows a downtrend from March 11 to March 24, 2026, with a recent bounce. The RSI consistently remains below 60, indicating a lack of strong bullish momentum. The forecast for the next week predicts a gradual increase, but within a narrow range. The support price is consistently at $0.194, while the resistance is at $0.274. Given this analysis, I recommend a long position strategy, focusing on short-term gains with tight stop-loss orders. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $0.225. The stop-loss should be set at $0.194, right at the support level, to limit potential losses. The initial target price is $0.246, aligning with the upper Bollinger Band and the forecast price on March 31, 2026. If the price reaches $0.246, consider taking partial profits and setting a trailing stop-loss to protect gains. This strategy combines RSI signals, Bollinger Band analysis, and support/resistance levels for a balanced approach, aiming for high returns with controlled risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, basic attention demonstrates volatility with a clear support level at $0.106 and resistance at $0.117. The RSI consistently dips below 50, indicating potential oversold conditions. Considering the current RSI of 30.4 and the forecast predicting prices around $0.0998 to $0.106, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.0998, placing a stop-loss order at $0.095 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $0.106, coinciding with the support level. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price is currently near the lower band, suggesting a potential bounce. If the price touches the lower band of $0.0993, we will enter a long position with a stop-loss at $0.0944 and a target price of $0.117, aiming to capture the move towards the resistance level. This combined strategy leverages both RSI and Bollinger Bands to identify optimal entry and exit points, maximizing potential returns while managing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bittensor exhibits a strong upward trend. The price has consistently been making higher highs and higher lows, and the forecast indicates continued upward momentum. The support price remains steady at $313, while the resistance price has been fluctuating. The RSI values have mostly been above 50, with several days exceeding the 70 mark, suggesting bullish sentiment. The Bollinger Bands have also been expanding, indicating increased volatility and potential for further price movement. Combining these indicators, I propose a strategy focused on capitalizing on this upward trend. My recommended strategy is a momentum-based approach with RSI and Bollinger Bands confirmation. We will enter a long position when the price dips to the lower Bollinger Band and the RSI falls below 30. For example, if the price reaches $310 and the RSI is 28, enter a long position at $310. Place a stop-loss order just below the support level at $300 to protect against unexpected downturns. Set a target price at $346, aligning with the forecast high for March 31, 2026. If the RSI reaches 80, consider taking partial profits to secure gains while maintaining a portion of the position for further upside. This strategy balances risk and reward, aiming to capture significant gains from the ongoing bullish trend in Bittensor.